Hello, this is Wayland Sports Broadcasting, and I'm Aiden Curry here with Coach Parseghian. And Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, so as we all know, you are the varsity football coach for Wayland football. How long have you been doing that?
So this is going to be, I just finished my 23rd year as the head coach, but 28 altogether. As my first 5 years, I was an assistant coach at Wayland. So this is the only place I've been and spent 28 years coaching football.
How's this season?
We had a great season this year. What a turnaround season for us. We went from 1-10 last year to 8-3 this year, with a lot of guys coming back next year. So we're excited for next year.
How did you get into coaching in the first place?
So I always knew I wanted to be a coach in high school. I had some great mentors. The biggest mentor I had was Coach Moyer. He was my wrestling coach, and he was the athletic director here. And the story goes that one day I was a senior in the wrestling room. We were having a very intense practice, and one of the guys had a bad day and just kind of ran out of the room, tears in his eyes, was just kind of losing it, just not having a great day. And Coach Moyer looked at me and sent me after him. I caught up to him in the back of the stairwell going up to the girls' bathroom, and we got to talk for about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, Coach Moyer came on the scene. And Coach Moyer went in talking to him. And after Coach Moyer was done, this athlete, this other wrestler, Dustin Ashton, looked up at Coach Moyer and said, "That's exactly what Scott just said." Coach Moyer then put his arm around me and said, "That's why he's going to be the next greatest coach here at Wayland." Right there was done. It was like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to come back here and coach in my alma mater, which I was lucky enough to do. As soon as I graduated from college, I returned and coached football, wrestling, and lacrosse here.
What would you say is your most successful football season in the time you coached Wayland?
Well, I think you have to say the 2006 season where we went 13-0, won the Super Bowl. We had 5 shutouts on defense. We were ranked the number 2 team in all of Massachusetts, and even the nation. We were ranked 145.
Nice.
So that year was very special, and has to be my greatest achievement as coach.
And of course, you were a football player when you were younger. Can you tell us a little bit about your experiences when you were a senior, junior, or just high school in general?
Yeah, I mean, high school I didn't start playing football until 8th grade. That was kind of the unique. All my buddies played football, and I'm not sure why I didn't want to, but it wasn't until 8th grade that I decided I wanted to play football. And then entered high school and had a great 4 years. Loved the camaraderie with the guys, loved the coaches. My sophomore year, we went 9-0-1. We tied Lincoln Sudbury, and only one team got to go at that point from the league, and Lincoln Sudbury got to go to the Super Bowl, not us, but that was a very successful season. I would say that I've learned a lot. My senior season was a real disappointment to us. We had 8 guys from that team go on to play college football, yet we were 3-7.
Tough season.
Yeah, tough season as a senior, not the way you want to go out. But I think I learned a lot about what it takes to be in a good program, build a program as a senior in high school. And know that if I come back, these are some of the things that I want to make sure happen. So you got to take the good and the bad together and make them positive.
Yeah, so you guys have a lot of traditions in Wayland football here. I've got to enjoy Camp Caribou myself. How would you say Camp Caribou is? I mean, what's the overall experience, and how does it feel for you and all the players?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, Camp Caribou is one of those special places for us where we get to get away from all this and just kind of focus on football and team bonding. Anytime you go away and spend 4 days together as a team, you eat 3 meals together. As you know, we're not just doing football. We're out there playing games together. We have the ropes course, team building activities. We watch movies together. And then the culmination of the bonfire at the end of the week where the seniors get up and get to address the team, I think is really special.
When did that tradition start, and were you ever in it?
Yeah, well, I was coaching at the time. We've been going there for 18 years. It turns out that the people that own Camp Caribou live in Wayland, and their sons played football. And through a conversation one time, we talked about it, maybe going up to his camp and getting away. And at that point, they didn't have any teams going up there for preseason. Right now, there's 6 football teams that attend Camp Caribou for preseason. So I'd like to think that we started it all up there at Camp Caribou, but it's been a great 18 years up there. I know the coaches enjoy it, the kids love it. And it's a time where you can just be together, really learn about each other. One of the other things we love to do, we introduce is a lip sync battle.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had some fun with that and getting the kids lip syncing and everybody cheering on. And again, it's just a fun atmosphere. So
Yeah.
a lot of great things happen up there that will then catapult for the rest of the season.
So, as you mentioned before, you were a wrestler when you were younger. How'd you get into that?
So that same person, Coach Moyer, the athletic director and wrestling coach here, he would bring, after the wrestling season here at the high school, he would do like a 3-week program at the middle school where he would bring down the high school kids and they'd run a wrestling program. There was no youth wrestling back then or like what it is now. So that was all of our first experience to the sport. And a lot of people did it because there wasn't a lot offered at that time. And then we culminated the 3 weeks with a little dual meet against Weston. So that was kind of fun, going against your rival where you actually got to wrestle and learn some moves throughout those 3 weeks and then bring it all together.
Yeah.
So
there's also a famous wall in the wrestling room. Are you on that wall by any chance?
I am lucky enough to be on that wall. Yeah, the wrestling program is probably Whalen's strongest overall program. And I'm thrilled to be on the wall as a wrestler and also all over the wall as a coach. As I've also spent 28 years coaching wrestling here at Whalen High School.
Nice. How would you say the atmosphere of wrestling compares to football? I've seen a lot of people, it's one ring, everyone's surrounding them, everyone's watching. Is there a tension? Are teammates chanting them on? Just how is it in general?
Yeah, I think wrestling is that great sport that when you walk out on the mat, it's just you. If you win or lose, it's you. So there's not 11 other guys out there that weren't pulling their side like football. So if you go out there and you lose, unfortunately that's on you, and you got to take that and you got to make yourself better. But there's also that team aspect to it where it's a dual meet, and if you win, you score points to your team, and then they win. So again, I love it's kind of individual, but still a team sport. And I wrestled 4 years in college, so wrestling was definitely probably I was a better wrestler than I was football player, but I love football and wrestling the same. They are my passion.
Yeah. So have you ever gone to states for wrestling?
Yeah, myself, yes. I finished third in the state my senior year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you've also mentioned to us before at WSB that you're a 3-sport athlete. What's your third sport?
Lacrosse. So yeah, it's football, wrestling, and lacrosse. Loved all three of them, different ways, but the spring was kind of just, fun and a new sport for me that I picked up in high school.
Do you have any favorite moments in lacrosse?
I would say, so I played crease defenseman, so I didn't get to carry the ball a lot, but it was more protecting the goalie and protecting the net. But I did score a goal one time. I got the ball and I went all the way to the other side and scored. So I guess that's one of my favorite memories from lacrosse.
Nice. Are you a coach of lacrosse right now, or?
No, I'm not coaching lacrosse right now. I'm actually coaching ultimate frisbee. But I think what a lot of people don't know, my first head job here at Whalen High School was with the girls lacrosse program. At the time, I was an assistant boys coach. The girls, a long time, Lori Nelson, Miss Griffin, she was one of my teachers here at Whalen High School. She stepped down. They couldn't find a replacement. And I was just thought like, hey, I want to be a head coach. So let me get this under my belt. Let me give it a try. Went through the interview process. They ended up hiring me, and I got to spend 3 great years as the girls' head varsity lacrosse coach. And then I became the football coach. And I really wanted to make sure that I did the football program right. And I felt like being a head coach of 2 sports, that's going to take a lot of time. So I stepped down from the girls program and put all my focus on being the head coach of the football.
So you mentioned Ultimate Frisbee. What's that like? How many kids do it usually?
Yeah, Ultimate. So it's a club team here at Whalen High School. And about 6 years ago, some students came to me as we teach Ultimate Frisbee in PE classes here, and they wanted to start a team, and there's actually a league out there. There's a state championship, and so they talked to me about it, and we started the team. It varies on the numbers every year. You need 7 on the field, and sometimes, we aim for about 20 people. And we've competed in the state tournament, and we travel and play other teams. So it's kind of fun. It's relaxed after 2 intense seasons of football and wrestling to kind of just run a club sport.
Nice. Are you the only one running that club?
No, I actually have a father, Mr. Wong, who helps me out. I've never played ultimate frisbee, so I'm learning. Like, I know the basic rules from PE class, but there's a lot more to it than that. Mr. Wong, who coaches soccer and it does a lot of things around town, he actually played in college and after college, so he brings kind of more of that, the rules and what is going on in the sport.
And of course, you started WSB. How did that come to play?
Yeah, well, for a long time, WSBN was trying to cover sports and have a broadcasting part to them, and then it fell off, and I hadn't seen it for the last couple of years. So I approached Mr. Keeney and Miss Barber, who were the heads of WSBN, and said, "Would you mind if I started a sports editing and broadcasting class? I love high school sports. I love watching high school sports. I know there's a lot of people out there that do too. So if we could create a class that really focuses on broadcasting and editing and just being around Wayland high school sports, I think it'd be a great class. This is our first year. We have 17 people in the program, so that's great. We're only going to grow. Hopefully people come back, and I'm looking forward to continuing this.
How's the experience going so far in this class?
I'm really loving it. I've had a lot of fun watching some of the broadcasts that you were part of, calling some of the football games this fall, and we've transitioned into both boys and girls basketball and wrestling this winter, and hopefully we'll get lacrosse and baseball and softball this spring.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on our show, and this was WSB. I'm Aiden Curry. This is Coach B. Have a good day.
Thank you.